What's up, everybody? Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 card review. Here to review this Duelist set version Lightsworn Judgment being released November 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, November 23rd. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be reviewing all of the new cards, which are only three, in this entire video. So there's going to be a 3-in-1 review. Again, I'm only going to be reviewing the new cards. When they do these, they do a bunch of reprints. No sense in me doing, card reviews on the reprints because you probably already, more than likely, I did videos for them already, or somebody else probably did them already. So, with that being said, let's see what these three new cards are. So, first up, we have Michael, Lightsworn Lord. Michael, of course, named after the Archangel Michael. It is a light dragon synchro effect monster, level 7, attack 2600, defense 2000. Description: 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-light tuner monsters. Once per turn, you can pay 1000 life points, then target one monster on the field. Banish that target face up. When this card is destroyed, you can target any number of Lightsworn monsters in your graveyard except Michael, Lightsworn Lord. Shuffle all of them into the deck, and if you do, gain 300 life points for each. During each of your end phases, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. This card must be face up on the field to activate and resolve this effect. Well, that's good to know. You can leave it face up, or you can activate, or like you can waste a book of moon on it, or a monster effect to flip it face down. When the effect first activates, that way it's not face up, so you ain't got to worry about dumping cards. But then again, the Lightsworns are revolved around that. But then again, there's some non-monster cards that you may not want to lose. I beat plenty of Lightsworns just for the simple fact that those effects dumped cards or milled cards into the graveyards that they needed in order to beat me, and they, ended up having to get rid of them because of the monster's effects. But nevertheless, man, 1,000 life points. I mean, yeah, man, pay 1,000. That's kind of low. Then again, it does the same thing for Judgment Dragon. 1,000 life points is pretty cheap. You know, and just to banish one monster. But it's good to know that this is only once per turn. As far as the other effect, yeah, like gain life points for each Lightsworn that you have in the graveyard after this card gets destroyed, be it by you or your opponent. You shuffle all of those Lightsworns back into your deck, and then you gain 300 life points for each of them. So it kind of gives you some sort of, I don't know, like, how can I put it, like a relief package of sorts. I don't know what else to call it at the moment. It's kind of like, okay, I'm losing a bunch of Lightsworns because of these monsters' effects, but at least I'm able to gain some life points back, from me losing those monsters, from these other monsters' effects. So that's good. Um, that there's something in place, that can, saying that can take advantage of those monsters being dumped. You know, I'm always saying, try to get more out of your cards, and this is one of the things that kind of prevented me from playing a full Lightsworn build, because you were dumping monsters, and the only thing you could really hope from that is possibly getting I can't think of the name of that wolf Lightsworn that can't be normal summoned, but if it gets dumped, what I'm saying, like, then you'll be able to uh, 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 special summon it. I believe his name is Hunter. So I could be wrong. Like I said, like, I don't play Lightsworn, so I can't think of the name of the monster itself. But the monster's effect was that it couldn't be normal summoned or set, but it could be special summoned after it got milled. But that monster was pretty much like the only incentive that you really got from milling those monsters, is that pretty much like you would hope to dump that monster at random, and then you'll be able to gain from that something. But in this regard with this monster, you know, there's something else that you can do with. There's something else in place for you from you having to dump those monsters from using, you know, these Lightsworn monsters effects, and that's good. So yeah, link to this card is going to be in the description. You guys can check it out, and I'll see you guys for the next card. What the hell am I saying? Wow, I almost ended this early as hell. But yeah, moving on to Minerva Lightsworn Maiden. I can't believe I was finna end it. Completely forgot what I was doing. Yeah, it's a light spellcaster tuner, level 3, attack 800, defense 200. Description: when this card is normal summon, add one light dragon type monster from your deck to your hand whose level is less than or equal to the number of Lightsworn monsters with different names in your graveyard. When this card is sent from your hand or deck to the graveyard, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard during the end of each. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. During each of your end phases, send the top two cards of your deck to the graveyard. You must control this face-up card to activate and resolve this effect. So, this is a searcher, but the search is based on the amount of different names of Lightsworns you have in your build. I mean, in your graveyard. So that's good, and it's fair as fuck. It's fair as fuck. You know, because normally what you would get cards like this is just based on how many Lightsworns or like how many monsters within the archetype you have in your graveyard, and that's like ridiculous that you would get, you know, that big of an option. But yeah, man, it's like add one light dragon type monster, based on the number of Lightsworn monsters with different names in your graveyard. So this is kind of pushing you to, I don't know, man. If somebody were to use this, they would have to be more, again, more strategic, because you have to have different names in your graveyard. You know, but it's a good thing that they gave this card the effect of one light dragon type monster and not one Lightsworn. You know, because there's only like one, you know, Lightsworn dragon, I believe, and that's Lightsworn. That's you know, so like Judgment Dragon, and if I'm not mistaken, like that's a level 7, and or 8. I'm not sure. Like I don't play Lightsworn, so don't get mad at me if I get the levels wrong. But I'm pretty sure that it's levels, you know, so like 7 or 8, and to get different names, like, and to get like 7 or 8 different names in the graveyard, that would be a bit much, even for the Lightsworns. You know what I mean? So, you know, this gives you an incentive to play other dragons, you know, other light monsters outside of the, you know, so outside of the Lightsworns, which is good, you know, so that way you can add it in, well, not necessarily add it in other decks. What the hell I'm mumbling about? Anyway, it's good, you know, so like it's a good searcher, but it's going to take some, it's going to take some train of thought in order to use this card, you know what I mean? So, besides my meaningless babble, you know, moving on to the last one in this bunch. Raiden, Lightsworn Assailant. I got another Assailant. Woohoo! I wonder if this thing like was a Gravekeeper. I don't know, man. Possibly. But yeah, it's a light warrior tuner monster, level 4, attack 1700, defense 1000. Description: during your main phase, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. If you do, if there is a Lightsworn monster among those cards, this card gains 200 attack until your opponent's end phase. You can Only use this effect of Raiden Lightsworn Assailant once per turn. During each of your end phases, send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. You must control this face-up card to activate and resolve this effect. So, this is a tuner that just powers itself up from doing what the Lightsworns always do. You know, 2 cards, you know, so like per effect, get 200, and it gains 200 a pop. Up, and yeah, it's a tuner with a power up effect. It's not really nothing to rah about, but at least you get something out of dumping those monsters again. You know, it's always good to know that you gain some type of incentive, you know, from you dumping those monsters. You know, at least you can gain something from it. You know, so as far as all 3 of these monsters go, for the people that play Lightsworns, I know you guys are happy to get new support. Even if it is just these 3 cards, they are something special. That Synchro monster is something special, most definitely. I give that card like the most props because, well, I give Konami, you know, props for making a card like that. Because, you know, like I said, when you have an archetype like Lightsworns, you want to benefit from you having to dump all those cards as much as possible. And when you end up having monsters in the graveyard from you dumping all those cards, you want to have something in your strategy to where you can benefit off of that, and you're just not dumping cards in the graveyard, you know what I'm saying, like for nothing. Normally, the reason why you would dump all those cards, well, really, like the way I've seen them used is that, you know, you would run a like light dark build, and then you would run, you know what I'm saying, Blackluster Soldier, Envoy the beginning, you know, and or like some type of chaos monster, that way you can benefit off of those monsters being in the graveyard. This way you can run a pure Lightsworn build, and you can benefit from those monsters being in the graveyard, from having to mill all of them, you know, and you'll be able to gain life points from it. As far as the 2 tuners, Raiden is, again, it's a tuner that powers itself up from doing what the Lightsworns do, you know. And as far as Minerva, she's going to take some strategy. Like, she's actually going to take some thought in using. So, yes, so there's a bit of challenge there, but it is what it is, man. So, I like the support, you know. Raiden not so much, but it is a tuner, so whatever. It's meant to help bring out, you know, so like it's meant to help bring out Michael easier. So, because it is level 4, it is what it is. But yeah, man, that's the support from the new Duelist set version, Lightsworn Judgment, again being released November 23rd. And yeah, man, link to this set is going to be in the video description. You guys can check it out, and I will see you for the next Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 video. Till then, peace.